Hi folks, it's John from lastchanceautorestore.com. I'd like to share with you an introduction and a little bit of an update. One of our clients purchased this project vehicle, pretty rare. It's a 1964 Mercury Comet, and it's a convertible. And he found this online, and sometimes the description doesn't really match the vehicle, but in this case it's pretty close. So it's quite a nice vehicle. It's had quite a bit of work done in terms of engine. It had some wiring issues, and there's a lot of little gremlins that we need to deal with. But basically, this car would have came with the original 289. It now has a newer 302 in it. Whoever did the transplant didn't do a lot of attention to detail work. Basically just set the engine in, and there's a lot of, I would say, questionable wiring, to be fair. So some of the things that we're doing, we're just going to tweak a few of the obvious things, and it wasn't running very well. It had quite a miss to it. So instead of doing a bunch of detail work, because our client wants to be able to drive it and enjoy it, more of a daily driver in the summer, it now has an MSD ignition system, and then it had some issues with the carburetor, and now we have an upgraded quick fuel carb. We've changed obviously the minor little things like the fuel filter, and then we checked cooling and wiring. So it had quite a few wiring issues, and then you'll notice the brake master cylinder, we've replaced it. Right now it's still just the one channel, but he's talking about doing some upgrades to suspension and braking later on. So the master cylinder was sucking air, the diaphragm was gone inside, and the lines were quite corroded. So you can see we have an all new nickel brass line and new fittings, and then we have upgraded MSD wires, the updated coil, and then we have our top of the line ignition box, which is part of this MSD system. So we've got that all wired in. The timing has been set properly, the carburation has been set, and it runs quite nicely, and it's quite a bit happier now than it was before. The other thing that we're going to be doing, when we come down this passenger side, is the car came with incorrect wheels and tires. So these look like the old style ET, I think was the brand that used to make these aluminum wheels, which is kind of a neat style. And as you go to the back, they've got larger wheels and tires. So I understand the look that they're trying to go for, but from a safety perspective, you'll be able to see here, I don't think the camera can pick it up, but the actual side profile of the tires are scrubbing, literally rubbing up against the quarter panel on the inside. I think the camera can pick it up. It's actually warm. You can see here where it's digging in or rubbing up against the sidewall. So where it used to say BF Goodrich, it's rubbing there, but you can see here there's even a sharper groove that's scrubbing and rubbing in the sidewalls. So here in Ontario, Canada, you do require a safety standard, and this would be one of the main things that you have to be careful of. I'm aware in some of the US states there is no safety standard, or very little, and something like this, we haven't been able to drive the car yet. It was towed here to our facility. Our client wanted to drive it, very excited about driving it, putting the top down and having fun. So I have to be the heavier, the bad guy, and say, I'm sorry you can't drive the car yet, because we have to deal with this. So I literally cannot put even a part of my finger in between the rear quarter panel and the sidewalls, because we have the incorrect back spacing of the wheels, and we have oversized tires. So whoever did the research did not do proper research in terms of safety aspect of wheels and tires, because we're tight right up against the body. So our client has picked out a nice set of, they're an aftermarket, they're a copy, they're called a Magnum 500 wheel, which would be a period correct look. We'll have the correct back spacing and the correct tire size. We've done some brake work to it, and we'll do a little bit of a tune-up and a road test. So we'll share with you when the weather's a little bit nicer and we get the proper wheels and tires on, we'll start the car and run it so you can hear how nice it sounds, and then it'll be a little bit different appearance, going from this style or this look of wheel and tire setup to a proper period correct Magnum 500 wheel with safer tires. So one of the many cars we're working on here, this is a pretty rare, it's a 64 Mercury convertible, and it's the the upgraded trim level I should have mentioned earlier. So quite a nice car, and we'll share another update as we get the nice wheels and tires on it. So I thank you for watching. I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.